So good morning, everybody. And again, thanks, Tom. Paul couldn't make it. He is the Dean of Transportation, which covers mechanics, auto body, ag machinery, airplanes. He's also the Dean of Construction, which is refrigeration, plumbing, steam fitting, carpentry. And he has recently become the Dean of Continuing Education as well. So he's getting spread a little bit thin. But as Tom said, he's the guy who knows how to get things done. Our organization has drastically changed, and we're ready and open to assist and help in multiple trades and in any way we can. So he expresses his regrets that he couldn't be here, because any of you guys that do know him, he loves rooms filled with people and just loves to be at these places. And he told me to express his regrets that he couldn't be here, but he was tied up at another function. Before I begin, Lloyd and Sandy Giles, as you know, they were speaking here a few nights ago, and they've just recently completed a very successful tenure of 50 years in the auto body business. They wanted to give back to the industry, and I found myself receiving a check from them for $500 to put into Sask Polytech to purchase equipment. So thank you, Lloyd and Sandy. Very much appreciated, and we'll make sure it goes to good use. And we'll probably try and keep you informed of where exactly that money went, what did we purchase with it. So we can get the slide changed. Also, we'd like to acknowledge that Saskatchewan Polytechnic is situated on Treaty 4 and 6 territories in the ancestral lands of the Cree, Saulteaux, Dene, Dakota, Lakota, and Nakota peoples, and the traditional homeland of the Métis. So what's happening at Sask Polytech? Well, the pandemic. I know everybody's always going on about the pandemic, but what did it do for us? One of our deans, and it wasn't Paul, but we were in a meeting, and he said, never waste a good pandemic. And I sure hope we didn't, because boy, did we do a lot of changes. We were in the middle of was a group of level 4s, Jeremy, and we had these vehicles torn down to the absolute nothing, and the parts were all getting prepped. Some of them were 1 day, 3 days away from getting fitted with sectioning and everything else, and the school got shut down. One of the things that we did, and we're a little bit ahead of the ball on all this, was that we had signed up with another program, and we had one of our instructors working for 4 months and working on a program called Brightspace. And Brightspace is an online learning platform. So our instructor, Evan Bloomquist, was working on this for 4 months. So he had done all the pre-stumbling and learning how Brightspace works and how to put content in and all the wonderful things that it could do. And when the pandemic hit, it was March, and we went, they just said, pack your computers up and go home, and you're working from home. And they said, get all your stuff on Brightspace, because that's what we're doing. Well, Jeremy got put into ICAR full-time. Evan was doing Brightspace, and I had 2 new staff members, and I just said, go see Evan. I have no idea what this is all about, but we got to get it done, because we got to be teaching these students. So they really put the pedal to the metal. We got Regina on board with it, and of course they were told to as well, and they all went to Evan. So Evan had led the whole group for Saskatoon and Regina to get all our stuff into Brightspace. We did a pile of planning, replanning, rejigging, jigging, and more rejigging, and so on. Sometimes I was changing my schedule once, twice a day, how we were going to do this. And we figured out, we came up with a hybrid model of training where the apprentices were coming in for 2 to 3 weeks online and getting all their theory uploaded, and then they were on campus to do their practical. It worked. We got through it. With our certificate groups, they had a 40% course load, so we had to do a lot of stuff with them online. We put all our quizzes online. We manufactured quizzes. We manufactured test questions. We made videos. We learned technical stuff we never thought we were ever capable of learning. So we put it all on Brightspace. And then to add on top of that, we had another little bug hit us. didn't have proteins and vaccines and everything else. It was one that went through the computer and we were hit with a cyber attack. On October 29th, I got called in for a new computer. I got a laptop. I opened this thing up and it's Windows 10. So I'm mad about that. And then I open my computer up the next day and it's blank. And I'm at home in my basement. And Jeremy's at home and Evan's at home and the whole organization's at home and wondering, did we get fired? Who do we talk to? What's going on? And we found that we got hit with a cyber attack. Word to the wise, I would suggest check your insurance for your business insurance against cyber attacks. It is something I do not wish on anybody. We lost all our bright space, we lost our lectures, we lost our marketing, we lost our PowerPoints, we lost financials, we lost everything. And it took a little while to get that back, but we did. And like I said, never waste a good pandemic, and for every problem, there's an opportunity. We learned all about Microsoft Teams. We now have our schedule on Teams. We have our, what are some of the other things we have on Teams? All of a sudden I drew a blank. We've got our vehicle lists, we've got parts lists, we've got everything on there. So instead of making a schedule, making a correction to it, printing out 5 pieces of paper, I just make it on Teams and anybody can log in and see where it is. SharePoint, because the apprentices were at home and they were doing everything online, the instructor would take pictures of all the vehicles so they could do their OE research before even seeing the vehicle. And when the students are on campus, they're taking pictures of their test welds and they're loading them onto SharePoint. And I could be sitting in my basement at home and I'm downloading those pictures and putting them right into a file. OneDrive. This one's been the best thing that's ever happened to us. I get an invoice, I pull out my phone, I take a picture of it, and I label it what I want. It goes into a certain file on OneDrive that's only shared with one other person. She does all my bookwork for me. She goes into that file, pulls it down, puts it into another folder on Teams, and all my invoicing is done. I know what any bill, what any vehicle is worth at any given point in time. The math is all done for me. It's great. The boys are taking pictures. They're shared with another folder, and I can see the pictures as they're doing it. So instead of having drives and servers and everything else, it's just a folder on the cloud. I've got everything on my phone as well. So Zoom, I know everybody's been working with Microsoft Teams and Zoom and so on. I know Jen with SGI was talking about that customer service. Sorry, I'm looking at you, but I've got Jess, sorry. Jess was saying about having a team of people when you call them for someone to answer. I get up in the morning and I get to work and I've got to talk to Tom and Barb and Jeremy and Chow and so on. Instead of picking up the phone, I just go into Zoom, notify me when available, notify me when available, notify me when available. And I'm working away, all of a sudden an icon pops up. Jeremy's available, Zoom. Paul was asking me, how do you know that as soon as I put down the phone, you're calling me? Just came up on my computer, you're available. So two-factor identification, we were going to be moving to this anyway. And I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of changing my passwords every 120 days. And what was the password? And then you don't open up a laptop for a couple months. What was the password there? The password never changes. I just get a text to my phone, punch in this 6-digit code, and I'm good to go for another week. So my password never changes. That's a lot better for me. My Workspace, it's another program that we have that we are able to put a lot of our databases on, so students can access it from home when they log into my Sask Polytech, so they can be working on research projects, they could be accessing the library, they could be working on all their projects, and it's just like they were sitting at school, so they can do it at home now. So there's a lot of things that that we were able to improve upon for the students. So what did we learn from this pandemic? We found that traditional learning was a good program. What we were doing for years and years and years was really good, but it wasn't perfect. It could improve. We found that online learning definitely had its benefits, but it wasn't perfect. Well, if we got a good and a good, a positive and positive should make even a better positive. So we amalgamated the two. So we are still using Brightspace with our students. We have uploaded their quizzes. We have still uploaded their assignments that they can do online. We've also found ways that they can do practice exams when they're up into their upper year levels of apprenticeship. So instead of taking time away from the classroom, because usually when they're in level 3, level 4, we make them write every single pre-employment exam again to see how they do and help identify areas that they need to be taught in. So we can do that now from home on what's called Lockdown Browser. And Lockdown Browser, if I'm doing an exam, it's videoing me and it will not let me search into any other drive, internet, or anything. And when I look away from the screen, it's going to flag the instructor that you're possibly cheating. So we can review those videos after and see if the student is actually cheating or not. But it does take time out of our day. So this way they can go home, do them on Lockdown Browser, and they get studying time in as well, and freeing up time for them to concentrate on their studies and what they're doing at that level. So we've made it easier for the students to study. Another thing with the Brightspace is that when we put a video on and we play a video in class, they see it once. Oh, maybe they dozed or maybe they didn't catch something or whatever. They can go home, log into Brightspace and watch that video over and over and over again. So they should have a better study experience. So they do their homework assignments, they can do their research, they have a better study aid. But how does that work good for us? We can also see if they're studying. Oh, I didn't know that or whatever. Well, geez, there's 3 hours of videos on this program and you were in that program for 20 minutes. Did you really study? So it works well for us as well. So we can see how long they're on Brightspace, what they're doing, how long they're spending per slide. Are they watching the videos? One of the other nice things about putting the videos into Brightspace is that I can stop the videos at periodic times and ask questions during the videos. So are they watching? So we're going to make sure that through Brightspace and giving homework assignments that they are studying to the utmost. One of the other things that we got passed or put through, we talked with our trade advisory board made up of members throughout Saskatchewan who advise us what we should be teaching and when. And we've always been teaching some aluminum in the level 4. And we just said, can we just start doing aluminum as our full-time project in level 4? And they said, go for it. So we're now training on aluminum F-150s. And so far we've had 1 per class, and I'd like to see actually all the level 4 projects be F-150s or aluminum intensive vehicles. And this was our first one that we did. And of course, that was March of 2019 or 2020. Yeah. And this is the one that one of them that got held back. But with this group, one of the other things that we had to really push for was that group that was in level 4, we needed to get them back first, and we needed to get the whole group back. And we were successful in that. So the group that was cut short by COVID, we were able to get them back as a group so they could finish the projects that they started on. And yeah, so far aluminum training on the F-150s has been very fruitful, and it's really made our 4 levels of training very pertinent again. So some of the other things that we've been doing, we've started running international cohorts, and we ran our first group, and of course COVID hit that one, and we had to change up their second half of their training for that one. But one of the things that Dale and I both agreed on was with the international cohort, and we've said this before, is that we would put them out for their practicum in the rural areas. And we've been quite successful in placing technicians in the rural area for the first time in a very long time. So we've put a number of employees out in the rural areas. So we're quite pleased with that. And as soon as the borders open up again, we will be resuming with our international cohorts and hopefully being able to fill that labor need in the rural areas. I already mentioned COET, which stands for Creating Opportunity for Entry into the Trades. Again, we have a wonderful team led by Paul, and we've been getting quite resourceful in finding funding. And we were able to run 2 groups of pre-employments under the COET program, and that's groups that we were going for underrepresented people in the trades. So we ran 2 groups of those, and we graduated 1 group, and I know that we were able to place a couple of techs into shops from the first group. The second group is, for us, is supposed to be completed in November. Our next one that we are looking at doing, and it's going to be along the same lines, but the group of applicants is being expanded, and it's called Shockproofing for the Trades. And we're also looking at running 2 groups of that one starting in January and April. So now we're going to have a group of pre-employments graduating in April, another one graduating in August, and another one graduating in November. And Regina is going to be doing something very similar to that. So we're looking at putting a whole pile more beginners out into the industry, your future journey status techs. So in Saskatoon, anybody who knows my shop, it's not as big as I would like it to be. In order to accommodate these groups, we are now running the school year round. So we have some instructors that are taking their holidays in January, February. Others are taking their holidays at at the regular time. And I guess I just don't get holidays anymore. No, it doesn't matter. So anyways, the school is running year round. So with that and finding those funding models, being more progressive, I was able to do some shop improvements. And we have 2 brand new booths, global space saver booths with an included mixing room. Quite like them. We were able to organize it into the shop to make the shop with better flow. We didn't increase any usable floor space, but we gained usable floor space out of the same footprint. We also, right at when COVID was just rearing its ugly head, we were putting in dividing curtains. And we did it for a number of reasons, but when we were trying to figure out and plan how we were going to keep our classes separate from one another to prevent if there was an outbreak in our shop, my upper management was like, Scott, how did you look in that crystal ball and figure out that you needed curtains before COVID hit? So it was, our planning for our shop was quite easy. Nice thing about it is that we have multiple aluminum stalls. We can do sandblasting, we can do washing while they're standing in another stall right beside us, and it helps keep the shop a lot more organized. We also have 1 curtain around our frame machine so that we have a dedicated frame machine stall for our aluminum vehicles. We also got a 3rd car aligner in our shop, and Regina also got another car aligner frame machine. That's our first vehicle on there. Hopefully that vehicle's coming off next week. I think they've got it body worked already and ready to come off. We were also able to partner up with our Associate Dean, Dan DuPerrell, and WIT, which is our Women in Trades training, a program that promotes women in the trades. And we now have a shop truck at our disposal. And boy, that thing has been coming in handy for us lately. So some of the other things that we did, we just recently installed infrastructure in to put more air lines per stall. We're also going to have a water line per stall so we can wash the cars right where they're at, which is going to limit movement and be able to have the students be able to concentrate more on what they're doing. I think the term was hands-on versus hands-off. And just like you, we want to make sure that students are more hands-on. We also got glue pulling capability. We got some parts carts, plastic mill thickness gauge, Mitchell Connect, BASF Refinity, 3M Crimp, 3M Festool, 3M pneumatic glue dispensing gun, and the list goes on. And I'm sorry if I missed one out that like Scott didn't mention that, but I'm sorry. But there was more stuff that we got on top of this as well. I know Leanne is going to be speaking a little bit later on, but we've been doing our utmost to keep up with the same requirements as the body shops. We are unique in our training model where we are repairing live jobs. That F-150, that one's going back on a road. It has to pass a body integrity inspection. And in the auto body program, we have known this for years. When you have a live job, when you have something that is actually going out, the students need to be training with that pressure to make sure it's done right. Instead of doing a test weld and we look at it, yeah, that's good, 66%, good enough. No, that weld's got to be done better. It's got to be done better. It's got to be done better. There, now it's passed the destructive tests. Now go weld on the vehicle. So we're doing all those things. So when we're going through a lot of the same issues for training, equipment, and all the things that we need to be doing in accordance with body integrity inspections to make sure that we are repairing those vehicles and training the students how to do it correctly. Because of that agreement with SGI that I've mentioned numerous times, where they supply us late model vehicles, low kilometer, the collision work that we need, the training that we need to train these students, we were able to be OE certified. And I don't know if Leanna is going to correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry, you can, but I'll say it while I still can, but we are still the only school in North America to be OE certified. And we are certified for all of those makes and brands. And I just saw on LinkedIn that there's another one that I need to go for. I'm not going to say which one because I won't steal that from Leanne. So we are certified in all of those OEs. Yeah, don't worry, there's more. We are, so far to my knowledge, the only ICAR Gold Class aluminum school shop in Canada. I don't know about North America. I've never checked into it, but we are for Canada. All Sask Polytech auto body staff are multi-platinum certified. Jeremy is 8 levels certified. I'm 1 class away from being 8 levels certified. Gary, Lance, Lance is 8 levels certified. Gary has 1 more class, and I think Evan has a couple more classes. I think he's 6 levels certified. So we are not just trying to meet the minimum, but we are trying to go for the maximum. And with that, when we came up with the, when SGI said that we needed to have the shops all ICAR Gold Class, 3 of the 4 instructors that we had for ICAR, Stu Gorski, Shane DeRozier, and Jeremy Shaw, work 7 days a week for 9 months straight, except for holidays, to try and get all of the shops up and running and Gold Class and Platinum certified. Thank you. On top of that, we also worked with SGI, and we made our shop portable, and we did 4 remote training sites around Saskatchewan too. So loading up your shop, loading up 14 welders and a bunch of other welders, the silicone bronze, the aluminum welders, and the vices and benches and all the supplies we need. It took a considerable amount of manpower and extra time, but we did it because we realized the importance of having trained technicians, and we wanted to make sure that we were part of giving you guys every opportunity to get certified in time. So we did 4 remote training sites on top of that as well. So at Sask Polytech, we've taken with our staff a position of maximum. So right now, if one of my staff retires, leaves, or as one of my staff members, so I'll see you on Monday, and he goes, not if the numbers are right. The lottery numbers are pulled at 5 o'clock. I might not be here. Well, if I was working on a minimum for my ICAR standards, I would be scrambling for the next person that came in, are they platinum and platinum in the role that I need? Or do they have the proper certifications or so on? And I would be scrambling to get them going. Because I've invested into the staff to get fully trained multi-platinum roles, If that person does win the lottery and says, I'm out of here, I go onto the iCar website and I just click a button, designate. And my platinum is still going, not a problem. And I've got time to get the next person up and running. I do it for other reasons as well, because of our pay structure and so on. But we also need to have our staff well-versed, because I do not have any staff that is specialized in any one given area. So if I need Jeremy to teach paint, he's teaching paint. And then next time I need him to teach welding, he goes teach welding or heavy collision or plastic repair or glass. All of our staff, they're journeymen, so they need to be able to teach all areas of the trade. So I want to make sure that they are maximum trained in all aspects of the trade. So my question for you is, what if your staff changes? Or what happens if we have new requirements coming down the pipe? Are you ready for it? So with that, the reason why I have Jeremy up here standing is not here to just provide emotional support for me while I'm up here. When the pandemic hit, and I already said this, is that as soon as he went home, we just transferred him full-time into iCar. And many of you know the level of service that he had provided, and getting people through the job grants, getting people, making sure that they were able to attend the courses, and booking the courses based on demand to making sure that they were full. And we got a lot of positive responses back from industry, from you, in support of Jeremy. And because of the level of service that he provided, he got the distinction of Instructor of the Year. So we want to keep that level of service up for you. And so Jeremy has been looking at how can we do this ongoing. And I'm going to get Jeremy up here right away, and he's going to talk a little bit about that, but we want to provide a bit of a concierge service to you. I read Tom's Did You Know emails every week religiously. And Tom has a lot of good information in those Did You Know newsletters, and I hope you all read them as well. And there was one article in there, and I'm sorry, I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he talked about the one thing that we all provide. Whether you're an insurance company, an education facility, a body shop, a mechanic shop, parts supplier, material supplier, equipment supplier. And in there it said, the main purpose of our business is to remove stress. That's the only thing we do, is remove the customer stress. And we know that there's a lot of changes happening in this industry. And if you're dealing with somebody and your stress is increased, how likely are you to deal with that person again or that company again? If you have a good experience, then you want to deal with that company again and again and again. And it doesn't matter. It's true for everybody, including us up here on this stage. So what we want to do, we know that the changes that you're going through, the monumental tasks that we have going, we've got new estimating systems, we've got new materials, we've got new research, we've got new databases. Everything is changing at an unprecedented rate, and we got to try and keep up with it. And we want to make sure, or try to help you out with that. We want to try and remove some of that stress. Jeremy has done an excellent job, and we want to carry that on, and we want to try and help you with that training ongoing to make sure that you meet your SGI requirements for training requirements for the year of hours, and try to make sure that your staff and your shop are fully certified on an ongoing basis. Jeremy, you want to tell them how you plan to do that? Thanks.
Good morning, everybody. Some of you might know me, some of you might not. My name's Jeremy. I've been with Sask Polytech for quite a few years now. I'm going to recap. I'm going to go back to March of 2019, whatever year it was, the pandemic 2020. I don't know. Anyway, gonna go back a full year and a half, I guess. And as soon as we got kicked out of the school, I jumped into this position, trying to help out the shops. And of course, it's because of our dean being proactive. And of course, many thanks to Paul. But basically what he found was a job grant program that could partner with ICAR to get shops trained at a severely reduced rate, which a lot of shops took advantage of. And so some of the numbers, I guess, I was in contact and worked with 45 different shops in the province. So that's a pretty good number, but I feel like it could have been better. It could have been more. And of those 45 shops, there was 190 technicians that I worked with to get through all of their ICAR training to make sure that those shops either achieved ICAR Gold Class or maintained whatever accreditations they need with regards to whatever direction that shop was going. And yeah, we did put in a lot of work, and not just myself, but all the other ICAR instructors in the province and a lot of other people as well, especially with SGI helping us out doing the remote training and everything. But now that we're past that due date of July 1, there's been a few questions come my way, and what I would like to do moving forward with shops is, if you are looking for training and you want to either have a customized training plan for your shop or whatever it might be, if you're just curious about saving a little bit of money, I might be able to provide that service for you. So the best thing you can do is reach out to me, and I can either customize something specific to your shop or just kind of work with you on a monthly basis. I really want to provide that service to you guys, because I feel like that's one thing I can take from your plate, so you don't have to worry about it. If someone else can take care of it for you and maybe save you some money in the long run and save you some time, I want to be that guy. Okay. Do you want to flip to the next? So the numbers are a little small on the screen there, but, and I know training's expensive, but if we look at the breakdown a little bit, and this is the, with the job grant. So with the job grant, if you look at the platinum levels from ICAR and the way we have it set up, the total cost for, and we'll just look at the non-structural one at the top there. It says $29.25. That's the current cost to get one certified technician non-structural. But if you apply for the job grant, if you come through me through the training program, you're gonna immediately save $1,900, so $1,930 there. So 2/3 gets reimbursed. But there's a further reimbursement there as well. So if you pay your technician to train, you're gonna gain a little bit more on top of that. So there is another top up of $480, which would actually reduce the cost of that non-structural technician platinum to just $514. If we look at the steel structural technician, now that one's the big one. That one's the expensive one because of all the hands-on training. That one's over $5,000. But through the job grants, again, if you're paying the technician to train, we're going to drop it down to $911. And $911 is actually less than the cost of one of those hands-on training courses. So it's a substantial saving. The one downside to this is that I'm giving you the full program. So if you have a technician that has a couple of those courses already, you're basically initially paying for it, the whole package, right? I can't break it up because that has to do with the job grant office. We have to maintain a certain standard with them in order for it to qualify for the job grant. But even in that case, say they had a couple of programs, you're still saving money, right? It's kind of a win-win. But in regards to this, I can provide to you training moving forward, because most of you that did go the ICAR Gold Class route will need to maintain those hours. And I can make sure that I can set something like this up for you to maintain those hours year over year. So you're not losing your Gold Class status, and you're continually training, which would also meet SGI's mandate of technician training per year. So it's kind of a double up in that respect. I guess, yeah, since March, I've been doing this. I just recently went back to actually teaching with my regular duties. So I am doing this part-time. I am one of those people that likes to answer my phone, because I know you deserve that service. And it was actually, was it Jess, I think, was talking about, you need to hear someone pick up the phone. I know there was a lot of struggle with iCar because everything was getting kind of piled on all at the same time. I kind of alleviated a little bit of that stress when the shop started calling me. They're talking to an actual person. I'm helping you. I'm getting back to you. I'm trying to make everything work. So I'm going to continue doing that if you want to use me. And my name and number will be at the end of the presentation here. So if you need to give me a call, give me a call.
I thought it kept coming out of fourth year. Not this is my iCard because you've been in school. For
Yep.
years. What do I have to do to get them?
For platinum status, so I guess I can touch on that a little bit. As a journey person, as soon as they become a journey person, they get a certain number of credits for iCar, right? 80? Okay. But that's for a current journey person. So a current journey person would get that credit. And to top it up, I'm working on another program. Now this is specific to a technician that might not have a whole lot of training. So I'm currently trying to build a program that's more specific to a new journey person. It might take me a little bit of time to get that all up to par so that it meets the standards of the job grants and everything. But I'm working on a program specific for new technicians or new journey persons or fresh journey persons. So there is programs coming, and if you want, give me a call a little later and I can tailor something that's more specific to your needs.
Coming up in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about what I'm doing. Back to you.
Thanks, Jeremy. So with that, and of course, we're looking at all these programs post journey status. So, and Jeremy touched on, when a apprentice graduates now from the apprenticeship program, they've gone up from 67 iCar credits up to 7980 credits. Sask Polytech, Dale in Regina and myself, we retook every single iCar class and compared it to the RSOS, which is the Red Seal Occupational Standard, compared the competencies, and Andrew Shepard at iCar took our recommendations and he says, no, it sounds fair, it sounds reasonable, and we got any newly qualified journeyman 80 iCar credits PLAR with their Red Seal ticket. When they are in apprenticeship programs, they are iCar exempt as long as they are signed up as an apprentice and attending college. So they don't have to worry about iCar training until post-journey experience. So you're also getting your training requirements met. And then once they graduate, then we can start enrolling them in iCar or another program that we'll be touching on shortly. So, and that's where Jeremy can help you out with making sure that they're getting those platinum certifications. And if you want, or if the tech wants, that they can become multi-platinum. So they are more valuable to themselves and they're more valuable to you at the shop. So the other one that we want to touch on was the BTAG training. And Dave also expresses his regrets that he couldn't make it, but that was beyond his control because of the travel restrictions worldwide right now. We've been talking quite closely with Dave, and we want to do the same thing with BTAG training as we've been doing with iCar training and making it a Sask Polytech program. Again, just like iCar, if you're taking the BTAG program, you'll get a Sask Polytech certificate, but you will also get the full BTAG certificate. So we are looking at bringing the BTAG training in-house to Regina and Saskatoon. And for those of you guys who are a little bit unfamiliar with the BTAG training, they are looking at the basics of repair. And I don't want to say too much in case I say something that Dave would rather me say, but we want to be able to do this very much in the same way that we have been providing the iCar training. We do the iCar welding certifications. We offer those courses while the techs are in school at 50% off. And I can't go on pricing about BTAG training because we haven't worked that all out yet. But we could also, so we can, if you have an apprentice coming down from Rostern, La Ronge, Shaunavon, all the rural areas, if they're already in technical training for their apprenticeship, we can start running these on the weekends so that they can also get more training while they're away from home. We'll also be trying to run these courses during the year based on demand. And this would also fall under Jeremy's umbrella of concierge service that we're looking at so that you can get BTAG training as well. Fundamentally, it's the same way as what we're doing our training. They have different techniques and some new tools, and I highly recommend it. I know that once we get this going, that I'm going to be encouraging all my staff to get BTAG trained. Also want to point out, and Dave had pointed this out, and make sure I say it, that the training courses are also recognized for certified collision care. So we want to make sure that we point stuff like that out to you to help make sure that you are fully certified, you're fully trained, you're able to make the best out of your training time and your training dollar. So everything can't be all rosy and good. We need your help. We are running out of time, and I know Tom is looking at his watch. No, not that time, Tom. There are, with all the changes that are coming down, and I see them in Tom's newsletter, I hear it talking to you, and we feel the same thing too. I know that you as shops are wondering about getting paid for test welds, ADAS calibration, procedural research, test drives, and the list goes on and on and on, and it's only going to be growing. We are running out of time as well. We would like to be training more of this while they're in for technical training. We would love to add learning outcomes. We are looking at buying all the equipment. Some of the equipment we've already bought. And so some of the things that we're looking at in the future, two-post hoist. We want to have a wheel alignment machine in our shop. We want to have the 1234YF air conditioning and the full gamut of equipment that goes along with that. The ADAS calibration equipment. We have a plethora of computers, both OEM and aftermarket. We're still looking at more. And we want to be able to have the students go through all this training while they're attending. We want to make sure that the apprentices that are coming through are being trained to the utmost that we possibly can. The problem is that we don't have enough time in the time that's allotted for the apprentice to be in. Currently, our level 1 and 2 is 6 weeks. Level 3 and 4 is 7 weeks. 85% of apprenticeship training happens on the job. And if you take the remaining 15%, actually works out to be 8 weeks a year. And we are not at that in the auto body trade. What we need your help with is that we need an industry voice to go to SATCC, the Sask Apprenticeship Trades and Certification Commission, and it has to be industry driven to get at least another week added to our levels of training so that we can start incorporating all of these learning outcomes to provide better qualified, trained technicians back to your shop. So if you're interested in supporting that, please come and contact us. We need your support. So another thing that I found out walking around and at the trade show and talking with a lot of people is that you're looking for technicians. Well, guess what? That's our job, is to supply technicians. You send me apprentices, we'll send you back journeymen or journey status techs, I should say. If you are looking for technicians, please, those are my name and my email address and my phone numbers. Second one, Jeremy Shaw, that's his email and his phone numbers. And if you're in the southern half of the province, I put Dale Hawkins in there as well too. Give him a call. If you are interested in taking a pre-employment certificate student, like I said, I'm running 3 groups of them this year. I ran 3 groups of them last year. If you're interested in taking one of them for a practicum, please give us a call, get on the list, especially if you're looking for a future technician. Your next journey status tech, and I say it every year, is probably washing cars right now. So that's where, if you're looking for your next journeyman, look at your wash bay and then send them to us and we'll do our best to give them back to you, journeyman, qualified, ripper and ready to go. So, and I guess with that, questions? And no, we didn't take bets on horses, so.
Does the BTEC training, can we get the job grant for the BTEC as well?
Yes, you can. Yep. Thanks for the easy question. Yeah, that one's already been checked with the job grant, and it does qualify. So.
I just wanted to thank you. I think the immigration program worked out good for our shop anyway. We have an awesome tech and, you know, as soon as his immigration papers and things go through, I'm sure he'll be through the journeyman program. And we hired a pre-employment grad on Tuesday. So those were good. And then also, speaking of people that don't pick up phones, iCar's the worst. So I will be reaching out to you, Jeremy.
So Bria's got a Manjinder from the international cohort and Whitney from the co-ed program. So I hope they both work out. So.
Hey, Scott, I don't, if you mind me just making this quick announcement. So I'm Brett from 3M. I also wear another hat, which is president of the CFL Alumni Association. And Scott was a part of a presentation in July at Mosaic Stadium. I just want to just reinforce this announcement that we have a new program with Sask Poly where former CFL players and their spouses now have the opportunity to take free courses and discounted tuition courses. And we're trying to again, increase technician numbers. And so now you might have a former rider working for you at some point. So thank you to Scott and Paul and their team at Sask Polytechnic, because it's a really exciting program. And yeah, if you want to hang around after a rider game and try to recruit these guys, Ben, I know you wouldn't mind having a few of those guys in the shop, maybe even an old bomber. So that's now a program that's in place. So thank you to Sask Poly for that program.
And I'll return the thanks. Thank you, Brett, because you're the president of the CFLAA and you were very instrumental in making that happen. So, and if I recall right, it's anybody who played for the CFL. So they could be in the States, they could be wherever, and it's open to all of the programs that Sask Polytech has to offer. So.
Wow. Wow, wow, right? You guys, you know, after hearing what we heard from SGI this morning, and then you're listening to what's going on at Sask Polytech, like we're positioned extremely well in Canada. Is there any doubt that this is the premier collision repair training center in Canada right now? It's unreal. It's unreal. So thank you